Okay, so Dr. Starr is going to walk me through very briefly and very practically how to build a slide that will act as my Agriscience Fair poster. So, Dr. Starr, tell me what to click first.
All right, so I have a lot of teachers that are just unsure about designing these slides and aren't really sure how to do it. And once you realize that when we look at scientific posters, we are looking at one slide, it makes it a whole lot easier to do the rest of the process. So Dr. Smith, you're going to go up to Design,
Okay.
and then you're going to go over to Slide Size. It's going to be over there on the right of your screen.
Got it.
And we're going to go to Custom Slide Size.
Okay. Is what I'm clicking popping up on the screen?
Yes.
That's what's being recorded? Okay.
Yep. So for your width, most of our scientific posters are going to be 48 inches wide.
4'8".
4'8", yes sir.
All right. And then height?
36 inches.
36, okay. Portrait or landscape?
Landscape.
All right. So I just click OK? All righty.
And go to Ensure Fit.
All right.
Doesn't really matter, but all right, so the biggest thing to know now is that you have this slide that is actually 36 inches tall. So if you look down in the lower right-hand side where you zoom in and out on your PowerPoint, you'll see that we are zoomed all the way out to 14%.
Sure. Okay.
That is going to be important when you are looking at your final poster before you go to print it, because you're going to want to zoom into 100%, make sure your text looks good, make sure your pictures look good. It's really easy to get those pictures on here, and they'd be grainy. All right,
Okay.
so from here, Dr. Smith, go ahead and delete those two text boxes that you have on there.
No problem. All right.
Okay, and we're going to go to Insert and go over to Text Box. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create a title box. So it's going to be a long, thin text box. It's going to stretch across the top of the slide.
Something like that?
That works great. And then go ahead and just type scientific poster in there, Dr. Smith.
Oh, man, that's really small.
So what Dr. Smith just said is a lot of times our students freak out because they're like, oh, man, the text is so small. Well, remember, we're doing 18-point font on a 48-inch wide slide. So you're going to want to highlight that text, Dr. Smith, and we're going to take it up for a title. We're going to take it up to probably about 80 point.
All right.
Okay, now you can zoom back out and see it should look a little bit better.
Okay.
So you'll have your title, you'll have the scientific title and then the student's name, and then after that we're going to create another text box. So we'll go to Insert, Text Box, and we're going to create a column. We're going to have 3 columns total. So I'm going to have Dr. Smith create one and then put another one in the middle and another one beside that.
Why can't I paste them?
You should be able to.
I thought so too. Huh. All right, so I'll just take a time. Okay, it did let me paste them. All right, so
just for the sake of this, Dr. Smith, can you click on those text boxes?
3 columns.
Yeah, so click on just one of them for me.
Yep.
And then go up to Shape Outline. It's right there beside those A's. It's right to the left of that.
Yep, got it.
And we're just put any color outline, just so that
I got you. There we go. We'll do an orange and a green and a red. All right. So
Okay.
obviously we would spend more time tidying this up and our OCD would kick in and we'd get it all perfect, but let's move on.
So at this point, you're going to have your students enter their information. And now this 3-column is not a hard, fast rule. You'll see some posters that are 4-column. This is, I just think, is the most basic way to get our students started. So typically in that far left column, that's going to be our introduction and literature review.
Okay.
So you can, type that in there, Dr. Smith, and we're going to make that probably at least 38 to 42 point font, so that make sure that we can see it.
Okay. Is there an easier way to do this that I don't know about? 40. Okay, there we go. 48. All right.
And then the middle column is where we typically like to do our data, our results, data and our results. And that middle column is usually where we're going to want to have a lot of our pictures. So we really encourage students doing Agriscience Fair to take pictures of their results and take pictures of the process as they go. And that middle column is a great place to have those pictures there because it lets us, as judges and superintendents, see what they're doing. Nope, we're going to get some Dr. Smith Agriscience.
There's a good
I like it.
Right there. All right. Boom. Picture.
So that's Dr. Smith's highly scientific turkey he's got going on. And then on that far side, that's where we're going to do, conclusions and recommendations.
All right. So I'm going to change this to 48. Conclusions. Recommendations. All right.
So that's it, guys. That's the basics. And so under that, you can do some reorganizing. Some people like to have a separate text box for every one of their areas for the poster. That's fine. Again, there's no real hard, fast rule on how to do this. The big thing is just understanding that it is one slide. If you go to Google and, look at scientific poster formats, there's a ton of different ways to organize it and make it look good. One thing your students do need to be aware of is if they can go in and change the background, and we encourage them to use color and make it look professional, but they need to be very careful using dark backgrounds with dark text. Just the same thing we think of when we're designing good PowerPoints. They can go in and do a dark background and then lighten their individual text boxes. I see a lot of people do things like that. There's lots of, again, great pictures and examples online. But they don't want to get too carried away, using big textured backgrounds and bright colors because, again, you want to be able to see all this really clearly.
All right. Any websites or any ideas on printing this out? I mean, some people have the big printers at school.
Yes.
So there may be a company that can print it on cloth for you.
Yes, so if you guys have a large format printer at your school, talk to your librarian or whoever's in charge of that about printing from them. Before you print, you're going to want to zoom all the way back into 100% and make sure your pictures are nice and clear, your text is readable. So let's have Smith zoom in real quick.
I can't do 100%, so 100% and then you just move around.
Yeah, and just move around. I always double check my pictures, especially do not let your students just take stuff off of Google for a variety of reasons. One of the main ones is those pictures will likely be very, very pixelated.
Okay.
So it looks like Dr. Smith has a nice high quality picture.
I'll zoom out.
You don't have any problem seeing that. It looks good. So once we know everything's where we want it, we'll take it to be printed. Usually you save it on a flash drive. You take it to your large format printer at your school. If you do not have a large format printer at your school, you can also go to like UPS printing stores. Anything like that, they will have large format printers. Talk to them about cost. Sometimes you can talk with some of those stores and find out if they'll offer school discounts or things like that to print your student's poster because they can get very pricey to print. You can also use, there's a company called, I'm going to double check on here, there's a company called Spoonflower that we've started.
Spoonflower?
Yes. I'm going to double check that
Spoon.
link real quick for you.
Is that the one
Yes,
that prints it?
Spoonflower Custom Fabric. And we've had quite a few people who have started coming to research conferences that use Spoonflower because they print their poster on a piece of fabric. They put their fabric with them in their suitcase, and then when they bring it with them, they either spray adhesive their fabric onto a poster board, or they just attach it directly onto the board. So that could be an option, especially when you start looking at traveling to national convention.
Yeah, you throw it in the suitcase and go.
Yep. And so once you print your poster, you're going to want to either get a big poster mailing tube or something similar like that, roll up your poster, and keep it in there until it's time to present.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for helping us out. I know somebody's going to take this and utilize it and make our science fair better this year.
All right. And if anyone has any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. We do quite a few posters for our research conferences here in the department, so we'll be happy to help you guys any way that we can.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks.